There's a second movie there. No.
Chairman, Commissioners, we are live on Facebook. We do have a not little under a minute till 5 o'clock though. Chairman, Commissioners, it is 5 p.m.
Okay. Commissioners ready?
Yep.
Call to order of Valencia County Planning and Zoning Commission. Today's date is January 27th. It is 5 p.m. The Pledge of Allegiance is our action item number 2. Director, would you like to lead us in that?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excellent. Thank you. Have you take a seat? Okay, item number 3, approval of agenda. Have all the commissioners had the opportunity to look over today's agenda?
Yes.
Okay, on today's agenda, there is a change, and that was in the packet that you received, that action item 7D, 7E, and 7F have been pulled by the applicant.
Chairman, Commissioners, there is also G and H on the next page. There's a total of 5.
There's a
field
total of
goals.
5. Yes, I'm sorry. So if you look on the other side,
That have been pulled.
yes, all of those are going to be pulled, and that is by the petitioner. They pulled it. They weren't ready to come forward, so. So any questions on that? So we're only going to be covering action items A, B, and C.
All right.
Any questions, comments? Hearing none, call the vote. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
There's a move to approve with a second. Any discussion on the motion to approve? Hearing none, call the vote.
Commissioner Moran, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Aguilar, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Freeman, how do you vote?
Yes.
Chairman Sublett, how do you vote?
Yes. And that's approval with the deductions by the petitioners for those 5.
As amended, yes, sir.
Okay, action item number 4, approval of the December 2025 Planning and Zoning Commission minutes. Have all the commissioners present had an opportunity to look over those minutes?
Yes.
Yes.
Is there any questions on those minutes?
Nope.
No?
Mm.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Motion
Second.
Motion for what? To approve?
to approve.
Okay. Motion to approve with,
Sorry about that.
motion to approve with a second. Is there any discussion on the motion with the second? Hearing none, call the vote.
Commissioner Moran, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Aguilar, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Freeman, how do you vote?
Yes.
Chairman Sublett, how do you vote?
Yes. All right, moving right along to action item 7A, staff reports. Mr. Ryan?
Chairman, Commissioners, not a lot to report this month. BOCC did cancel their second meeting of January, so we didn't have anything go in front of the commission since the last time we met. We do have 2 zone changes that will be going in front of the county commission next month in February at their second meeting of the month. And beyond that, nothing else to report at this time. I stand for any questions.
Commissioners?
I'd like to know if we can go back to our 3 o'clock meetings.
Well, that's further down now under the meeting schedule.
To bring that up.
Yeah.
So
Mhm,
Chairman,
okay.
Commissioners, that will come up during your voting on the Open Meetings Act and also on the commission schedule. You can make a motion at that time to amend either of those when you are voting on them, if we are going to vote
Okay,
individually.
but it's a good thing that you bring it up. So then when we get into action item 7 at whatever, then
Right.
we'll bring that up. So remind me and we'll definitely get that on the schedule. Cool. Any other? I have one question for Mr. Ryan. Last month, I did remind that you guys had asked to bump the fees and all that stuff, but yet at the BOCC meeting, there was nothing put in. So what happened there?
Chairman, Commissioners, we've been working on that. We're trying to look at different options. One thing that we were enlightened on by our legal department is that for some of the mailouts, we can put the expense on some of the larger mailouts on the petitioner.
Mhm.
So on some of these solar fields, we have up to 100 mailouts in those Rio de Oro properties all across the country, even all across the world on some of them. It was brought to our attention by the legal department on those particular ones. We do have the ability to put that cost on the petitioner. So we're looking at that as an option. So that way we don't have to raise all the fees across the board, but the part that is the biggest expense to the taxpayers, which is that mail out, does fall on the petitioner at least. So that is something we're still trying to get sorted out, still working with legal and with the county manager at this time to sort
Okay,
out.
I just know that if it doesn't go into the system in January, then we got to wait till next year, right?
Chairman, Commissioners, I believe from what we understand is we can vote on the schedule of fees at a later time. It does not have to take effect in January, is my understanding.
Well, that's when BOCC puts their budget together, and that would be part of the budget under BOCC, correct? Coming from us, BOCC is going to handle that part of the, fees and stuff like that, if I'm not mistaken.
So what we're looking at is the fees that would be changing are only going to affect the petitioners. It will not affect countywide taxpayers or anything that this board or BOCC is responsible for out of their budget. It's strictly going to affect the individuals that are making the petition to make these requests. So if the fees are adjusted, it'll be an application fee that increases.
Mhm.
Right now, what we're also looking at is potentially putting some of the cost of the mailing out onto the petitioner as well. So those are things that we're looking at, and those can be changed down the road. It might affect some things that we look at with the budgets, but at this time, if anything, it's going to decrease the amount of money that we require as part of our mail out budget. It's actually going to decrease the department's monetary input, basically. If
Right.
we increase those fees, then those are going to be supplied by the
So you're
producer.
saying that once you guys come up with a solution, then that doesn't go before BOCC?
It will go in front of the BOCC, but it's going to go in as part of an adjustment to the schedule of fees, I believe is what it's titled.
Mhm.
And so it'll update the fee schedule, it should not alter any of the budgetary stuff that's already been approved by the commission.
Okay. So just a fast think, here off the edge of my brain. Can't we just do an addendum to those fees that whenever, if the larger companies like the solar and so because the fees that we are having to pay twice or 3 times is because the petitioner ends up tabling because they're not prepared. So if the petitioner tables, and then because it was their idea or their prerogative to table it, then they should have to pay for the mail out.
Yeah. So Chairman, Commissioners, yes, that's actually something we just did on this most recent one. So these 5 solar fields that were tabled,
Right.
a condition of allowing them to remove these and put them on at a later date is that we are going to give them an invoice for the bill of the future mailouts.
Right.
That includes for this commission meeting. And if they go on after your recommendation to the Board of County Commissioners, it'll include that as well.
Okay. But
So
that was,
unfortunately, the the department still does the work to ensure that that mail out goes out correctly.
Mhm.
But we send the invoice to the petitioner that's responsible for that.
But what I'm saying is that that would be all inclusive to all petitioners, not just, but, and I'm not saying that that's what we have to do or that's what you have to do. I'm just saying, keep that in mind so that when you're writing that up, because that would be a good way. Because it seems like that's the biggest fee that we're having to pay. And that's doubling up everything with a petitioner who's just paying normal fees. So
And
if they decide that they want to table or something like that and bring it back because of something that they did not properly do in the first place.
yes, and Chairman Commissioner, so that is something that with the current fees and the current ordinances as they are now, we are allowed to impose that as a condition of tabling an item.
Okay.
So that currently we do have the ability at the discretion of the department, or if they're in front of the board, at the discretion of the board to impose as a condition of tabling the item. They are responsible for all fees associated with the mail out of public notice.
Okay, I would be extremely pleased if you could bring that to my attention if we ever have that situation again. And
Yes,
that
sir.
way we can include that when the motion is done. So we
Yes,
could
sir.
include that in the motion. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
And just if I can, clarification, so it'd be the postage cost. It's that we have an application fee and then
Right,
there's
the
a
postage cost.
yeah, so it's
The
not necessarily the
application fee
fee.
would be,
Right.
would still be covered. All of those applicable fees would still be covered.
By the,
But
by the,
because we're having to pay, because the
Correct.
county is having to pay for them, another mailing, if they're the ones who come to the decision that they want to table until another meeting, then when that other meeting does come up, then they would be charged for the appropriate mailing fees for
correct,
sending out the certified mail for that. So
correct.
Yeah,
I'm
Chairman.
trying to help you guys out there.
Yeah, Chairman, that's correct. It shouldn't be the responsibility of the taxpayers as a whole. It should
Right,
be the
right.
applicant's responsibility, and we agree with that. And
Cool.
that's what we were able to do on these particular cases.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Commissioners, anything else? Okay, moving right along. Let's go to action item number 6 would be the swearing in of participants. So if anybody is here to present one of the action items, if you're here to present or if you're here to stand witness for or against, now is the time for you to stand up and we're going to get you sworn in. So anybody, you're the only one here? Okay. And nobody else is going to come forward and speak? No, not right now. Anybody else? Nobody else? Okay, just the two of you, right? All right. Raise your right hand, repeat after me. I state your name. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God. Okay, thank you. Have a seat. All right, moving right along. Action item 7A, reorganization of the Valencia County Planning and Zoning Commission. Mr. Baca.
Chairman, Commissioners, first item up on the reorganization is going to be the County Planning and Zoning Commission oath of office. We're lucky enough to have probate judge Wendy Wallace here to do the oath for you guys. So she'll be presenting that now.
I,
Mark
Philip
Freeman,
Loveland,
do solemnly
do
swear
solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution and laws of the state of New Mexico, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of the office of the Valencia County Planning and Zoning Commission, District 4, of which I have been appointed to the best of my ability. So help me God. Thank you.
We sign
Back
these
to
right
you.
here?
this real quick.
That's your black pen. Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you again for doing this. Appreciate it.
We're good for another year.
Have a good one. Have a good night.
another month.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Mr. Baca?
Chairman, Commissioners, next up on the agenda is going to be the election of chair and vice chair. I don't know if you have a preference on which you would like to go with first. If we want to start with chair or vice chair.
We'll start with, I guess, Chair.
Okay. So I leave it open to the board for discussion and feel free to make a
Is
motion
there
if anybody has.
discussion on that?
Historically, the vice chair takes the chair's position, and then the chair will take the vice chairs unless they want to do something different. That's how historically the vice chair moves up. And then we'll see whoever wants to be the vice chair. I don't make me.
I don't understand what you just said. I'm so confused right now.
I think Philip does such a good job. I nominate him to go back again as chair.
There's a nomination.
Nomination on the floor.
Okay, I would have nominated you, but I thought last year you didn't want to, so I will second that motion.
Nomination with a second. So there's a nomination and a second. Is there any discussion with the commissioners?
No.
I appreciate the faith that you guys put in me, and I hope that I'm doing it correctly. And if you want me to do it for another year, I will. I would say that this would be the last year that I do it because I think that we should bring somebody else into it next time. But if you want me to do it, I'll do it.
You guys like him?
No comment.
I don't think none of them like me. Nobody likes me here, but that's okay. So if that's what you want, then I'll take it, you know.
We have a motion and a second. Are you ready to?
Motion
call
is
for-
second, so,
call for votes.
so any other discussion?
No discussion.
Call the vote?
Commissioner Moran, how do you vote?
Oh, yes.
Commissioner Aguilar, how do you vote?
Yes,
Commissioner-
undoubtedly.
Commissioner Freeman, how do you vote?
Yes.
And Chairman Sublett, how do you vote?
Yes. Okay, so now, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So election of the vice chair. So in my humblest way, I'm going to make the motion that Butch, you be my vice chair. You've been a great vice chair ever since I've been the chair. And I know I can trust on you because there's times that I need you to come in and you've always been there. So I know that Sue, you've had your time, and I know
Right.
Mark, you've
Been
had your
there,
time
done
as
it.
well. Butch has done an excellent job as vice chair, and he could not come with any, so I nominate Butch Freeman as my vice.
I'll second.
Any discussion on the, is that okay that I do that? Yeah.
Yes, sir. You're on the board. You can make the nomination just like
Okay.
anyone else. Yes, sir.
Any discussion on the motion with the second? Hearing none, call the vote.
Commissioner Moran, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Aguilar, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Freeman, how do you vote?
Yes.
Chairman Sublett, how do you vote?
Yes. Okay.
Thank you.
That was easy.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations. All right, Chairman Commissioner. So next up on the agenda, we do have adoption of the Open Meetings Act for 2026. There is, as noted earlier, item 2 or line 2 under regular business meetings and regular public hearing business meetings. It is noted on Open Meetings Act that those will begin at 5 p.m. There was a discussion started earlier on potentially moving those back to 3 p.m. That's part of, if you guys would like to make that change, this is where we would do it as an amended approval to this Open Meetings Act. And I do stand for any questions if you have any.
Okay.
Commissioners?
Well, I did ask, and if there were any complaints from the public about when we were at 3 o'clock versus at 5 o'clock. And the answer was,
Chairman Commissioners, we've received none for either time. At least on my experience, I haven't heard any issues at 3 o'clock, and I also didn't hear any issues from the public specifically for the 5 o'clock either.
that's mostly my concern, is what works best for the people. So
Yeah, at the end of the day, the department feels it's what you guys as the appointed officials feel is best for your constituents at the end of the day.
Okay.
And one other item on Open Meetings Acts that we did add, so there was one other change from last year. Sorry to change the topic here. Item number 4 for non-traditional meetings. This allows us, some of those times when we have our Halloween events or Christmas events, if there does happen to be a quorum of planning and zoning there, this approval of Open Meetings Act allows us to not have to post a notice of quorum for every one of those situations. This is something that is new that the Board of County Commissioner, they just approved on their January meeting. And I updated and amended it to be more specific to Planning and Zoning Commission. But this is basically a mirrored image of what they are doing as well.
cool.
Okay.
Those are the only two changes. Everything else is the same as last year's Open Meetings Act.
So Commissioners, you guys all understand
Yeah.
about the rolling quorum and all that. So, and I think that we've all been very well, like during the Halloween, during this Christmas stuff. Nothing is ever mentioned about anything. and-
So there's no misunderstanding.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So, but this just shows that the public, that we are aware of it and that we will make sure not to do that. And, we're all adult enough to maintain our pros and professionalism. Also, what about the changing from 5 PM to 3 PM?
I'd like to make a motion for the amendment to change from 5 to, go back to 3.
Okay,
Well, as long as there aren't any complaints from the people, that's, again, my only concern. And if there haven't been,
Ask
I'm
them.
flexible.
what about, so the public has not put forth any complaints or anything, but what about the department?
No complaints at this end either way. And if we're going to be honest, we like the 3 o'clock better. Just for staff time. And then when we have to go again for BOCC, that one's at 5 too. So it's made it for some very long nights for Brian and I. And so if you're asking our opinion or our what we prefer, 3 o'clock.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. But like today, we had some stuff come in late. Was that extra 2 hours helpful to you guys to make sure that everything was right? Because I'm getting packets. My packets I usually get like late Friday. And I understand that that's roughly around the time. But then the packets are incomplete. There's things that are still missing. And so we're having to wait till Monday to get addendums to the packets because all the departments haven't either the departments haven't answered, and I know that that's not you guys' fault, or something has happened where you've done all this work for the packet and then it's like now we had 5 action items that falled off. It wasn't your guys' fault, but it was their fault, because they're like last minute, oh, la, 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 so, is that extra 2 hours helpful to the department? Or do you guys think that you're okay without that extra 2 hours?
Chairman Commissioners, we'll make sure that we're ready for the meeting regardless of what time it's going to start. In my opinion, I think these are public meetings. These are meant for the public. So as the appointed officials, I think what you guys feel is best for your constituents is what should be looked at most. I mean, the other things are also good to consider, but I think the priority should be what's best for your constituents and the public.
Right. Mhm. So keeping that in mind, we don't have all 5 commissioners here. So do we want to, as not a complete commission at this moment, do we want to vote on this? Or do we want to wait until they're all full?
Is it not because of Rick is why we went to 5?
No.
No, it was
was it?
because of the other commissioner that was before him.
Oh,
So Mr. Chavez came in, filled in for Galena.
Yes, sir.
Galena was here and he was having a hard time getting off work. And actually, I only think he showed up once, right?
Chairman, Commissioners, no, so what happened is he was nominated and asked to be part of this board. He said he could only be part of the board if the meetings were at 5 p.m.
Right.
Before the first meeting was held, he dropped out of consideration for that position. So
Right.
he never actually was a part of this board. He was
Right, right.
appointed.
He never
but never
even-
was
yeah.
officially a part of the P&Z
Right.
Commission.
So we changed for him because
It
of
was
his
him.
work times. So,
Well, if we don't make a decision today and table it, then we can't do the Open Meetings Act, I think, and it'll delay other things for staff.
we should do it today.
Do it
then
today.
that's what I'm looking for. Okay, so we have a motion to change it from
Second.
5 with a second. Okay, motion with a second. Any discussion from the commissioners? Hearing none, call the vote.
Commissioner Moran, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Aguilar, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Freeman, how do you vote?
Yes.
Chairman Sublett, how do you vote?
Yes. All right, Mr. Baca, moving on to. So we got to sign these, correct?
Oh, yes, let me go ahead and send we'll send one copy around so we have one with everybody's
Okay.
signature on it. And we'll do the same for Robert's rules next.
Okay, excellent. Sorry about that. It's just doing our business, so. First of the year.
And Chairman, Commissioners, this document that you're signing, we will keep the signature page and we will amend and update the document for our records to indicate that the start time is 3 p.m.
Okay.
So it was approved as amended to change the start time of the meetings to 3 p.m. Chairman, Commissioners, next up on the agenda is the adoption of Robert's Rules of Order. This document has seen no changes from what was approved for last year, and I do stand for any questions.
We'll have to change the time on it on the first paragraph.
I'm sorry. Yes, the time has been updated, so that will be amended on the final document. I apologize.
We have to motion to amend or just motion?
Yes, we're going to have to make an amended vote. Since the time has changed, we will have to vote as amended on Robert's rules as well as on the schedule coming up next. So right now we're looking at Robert's Rules of Order.
Well, we've discussed this every single year and we've always said we should get a refresher course and we have not. So, but I think that we all abide by the rules pretty good. I think that we've got a good commission here and there may be times that the public might see us calling each other by our first names or something like that. I'm definitely one to be guilty on that, but I feel like a commission that is
Less formal.
yeah, less formal that we can do that. So,
It's good for the people.
yeah, and it makes it so that the people aren't as nervous when they come forward,
And-
so we're just people just like them.
Chairman, Commissioners, if you would like us to provide you with some additional resources on Open Meetings Act, Robert's Rules, any of those, feel free to reach out and we'll be happy to provide any of that for you at any time throughout the year.
Any questions?
Nope.
Negative?
I'm good.
We have a motion?
Make motion.
Okay. What's your motion?
To approve.
But
Or,
we also have to
Have to
integrate
amend that time.
the amendment of the
Oh,
time
okay.
into the
Oh,
open,
Okay, make a motion to, make amendment for the time
from 5 PM to 3
from 5
PM
PM to 3 PM.
and adopt Robert's rules
Adopt Robert rules.
of
and-
order for,
And also, Open Meetings Act.
I'll second that. So motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion and a second? Hearing none, called to vote?
Commissioner Moran, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Aguilar, how do you vote?
Yes,
Commissioner Freeman, how do you vote?
Yes.
Chairman Sublett, how do you vote?
Yes.
Oh, that's easier.
All right. Adopt the 2026 County Planning and Zoning Commission schedule. So that's going to change.
Yes, Chairman Commissioners, the dates are as set on the schedule. We did account for Thanksgiving and Christmas once again. So just like we did this last year, those meetings are the week before each of those holidays. So we'll be looking November the 17th and then December the 15th. Other than that, everyone is going to be on the fourth Tuesday of the month. We will need to amend from 5 PM to 3 PM on the schedule. Otherwise, if the dates are okay with you guys, that's what we would be looking at as well today.
We look at that? Where is it real quick?
Well,
Would you
the,
like a copy?
I should have a copy in here, right?
Page on that.
Thank you. Yeah.
will the application deadline change?
No, because it's still the day after and we prefer to have it at 3. At 5 PM doesn't make sense for the deadline. That doesn't give us enough time.
All right, no, but for this one, applications are accepted until 3 PM.
Yeah, that's what I need to move
Okay,
that.
that's
to
fine.
later Earlier just does.
Okay,
it's-
cool
We're
enough.
happy with where that's at.
All right, very good.
No, they're done signing.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yep.
Good?
Good.
Motion?
A motion to accept the Planning and Zoning Commission schedule as amended to reflect a 3 PM start time.
second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion and a second? Hearing none, call the vote?
Commissioner Moran, how do you vote?
Yes,
Commissioner Aguilar, how do you vote?
Yes,
Commissioner Freeman, how do you vote?
Yes.
Chairman Sublett, how do you vote?
Yes. All right. Moving right along. Okay, next is action item 7B, conditional use number 2025-096, District 4, P and Z Commissioner Sublett, Board of County Commissioner Bezell.
Chairman, Commissioners, before you this evening is a request for conditional use number 2025-096. This is District 4, P and Z Commissioner Sublett, BOCC Bezell. Cameron Hare requests a conditional use to allow the manufacturing and packaging of cannabis products. Legal description, subdivision, land of Primitivo Gabaldon, tract 28B, 3.11 acres, map 96, 2007 revision, also known as 1047 Don Felipe Road, Belen, New Mexico 87002, UPC 1007-030-090-120, followed by 6 zeros. Currently zoned Community Commercial District C2. The applicant is here to present to you today, and I do stand for any questions.
Do we have the petitioner present? Go ahead, come forward, sign in and state your name for the record.
Read your little. Where was I? It's been quick.
Cameron Hare.
Okay. Now, Cameron, we have a letter. You're not the property owner.
Correct.
Okay. And we have a letter from a Lorenzo Romero saying that you can speak in his
Yeah.
behalf.
Yes.
Okay. But according to the records, we have Mr. Gabaldon, who's the owner of the property. Now, there is a deed there with Mr. Romero's name on it, but
Chairman, Commissioners, no, I'm sorry, if we look here at the property profile card, the current owner is the Romero Trust. Lorenzo Romero is the trustee.
Mhm.
The land of Primitivo Gabaldon is just the original subdivision land description. That's
Okay.
just a portion of the legal description, not current ownership. It's a land identifier.
so the deed does stand true as ownership for,
Chairman, Commissioners, yes, sir. As far as we are aware, that matches what the assessor's records indicate.
okay. Go ahead.
I'm requesting a conditional use for the manufacture of cannabis products. I'm not going to be using any sort of flammable or dangerous chemicals in the processes. It will mostly be packaging, processing, labeling, simple sort of processes involved after the harvest of cannabis. So I am currently licensed to produce cannabis at this location, and I would also like to be able to process and package here.
This is mine, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
You currently grow marijuana there,
Yes,
indoors or outdoors?
indoors.
Can we get an overhead? So you're licensed to produce,
Yes, that is correct.
okay. So you would like to process and package.
Yes.
So will the processing and packaging of cannabis items only be the items that are produced on that land, or will you be processing and packaging other cannabis items that are brought in from other areas?
I am only planning, or I guess I'm only requesting for permission to package and produce stuff that I grow.
On that land?
So yes, only things grown on that land, yes.
Can we zoom in? And that land is zoned to what?
C2.
Chairman, Commissioners, the land is currently zoned C2, Community Commercial District.
So would you be building another building to do this?
No, within the current building.
Would you have to bring in more employees?
Potentially. It depends on whether or not I'm able to expand. Right now, it's a very small grow. So I would like to, but it'll just depend on how well
So
things
if you
go.
look over at the overhead map, so it should be on the, so which building do you do the growing and which building would you be doing the producing in?
It would all be happening in the building on the south.
The larger building?
That building on the north,
Mhm.
it's just an empty metal building. There's no power or water or anything in there. So I'm not using that building at all.
So do you do all your growing in that building on the south as well?
Yes.
Is that like an old home, or is that?
No, it used to be a Schwann's frozen food hub.
Mhm.
So it's a large metal building. It has what used to be a giant walk-in freezer inside of it. So there's nothing residential on that property.
When was the last time you were inspected for the production of cannabis
By who?
by anybody? By the state, county?
CCD officers came out approximately 3 months ago and did an inspection.
What'd they tell you?
They gave me notes on a few things, but they just said that they would be back to inspect in the future.
Can you tell us
Tell you what,
they said?
I had some water tanks that I didn't have labels on, so I needed to label the water tanks. And that was, as far as I remember, the only issues they had with what I was doing.
You have a fence around the perimeter of the property?
Yes,
And how often is that fence inspected?
I'm out there every day, so not necessarily up close, but I take a look at the perimeter of the property every day.
Is there anybody else that you have do that for you?
No,
How many people are on that property at any given time?
2 at the most,
How many employees do you have?
0.
So it's a family business?
Yes.
Commissioners?
Do you intend to sell out of this building?
No, I will be only selling to dispensaries. I'm not planning on selling directly. out
You
of the
won't have
building.
individual traffic in there to buy?
Correct.
Mhm.
No extra
What is that
traffic.
facility across the street?
Across the street, it used to be another cannabis grow, just a bunch of greenhouses.
Oh, it's not now?
No, it's not now. There is someone trying to get a license over there right now, but currently no.
Okay.
You do have security on property?
Yes. Yep, I have sensors on all of the doors on the perimeter, motion sensors at the entrances, and then cameras all throughout.
So upon processing and packaging of the product, please forgive me for the possible overuse of peas, but so once you process and package, is that going to go out for delivery, or do you have like a holding area that you're going to place that at this address?
It'll be going out for delivery as it's processed and packaged.
So you're not going to be like building a big inventory and then trying to sell like a huge inventory. That stuff's, you're asking to process and package in order so that if you get an order, then it's like, okay, let's go in and so ordered however many, I don't know the right terminology, but pre-rolled joints, ground cannabis flower, ground flower into wraps or papers intended for smoking, or cartridges, right? So if somebody said, hey, Cameron, I need 100 cartridges. So you're like, cool, I can do that. I can knock those out real quick and I'll have them to you by 6 p.m. or something, right?
Yes,
So you're not looking at storing massive quantities of pre-rolled anything or grinded or whatever.
that's correct. Yes.
Okay, so you're going to be using this process and packaging as needed.
Yes.
So you won't have an inventory there to be stolen is basically, is what would be a question.
Fair enough. So I will have what I've harvested, but yes,
Right.
I'm not planning on accruing a large amount of, ready to consume products.
Right. Commissioners?
And you do have a plan for the destruction of any, stems and.
Yes, yes, I have a
leaves and-
process of the, an operating process for that. And the inspectors did look at that and said that that was good.
Okay.
The CCD inspectors.
Are you utilizing those stems or those stalks for any other purposes other than, destruction?
No, just destruction.
Commissioners? Nothing?
I'm good.
Good. Okay, Cameron, have a seat. We'll call you back up in a second. We received no letters on this, correct?
Chairman Commissioners, that is correct. There was no letters of opposition or in favor of the request.
Okay. Is there anybody present that wishes to come forward and speak in favor of the petitioner's idea? Again, is there anybody wishing to come forward and speak in favor of the petitioner at this time? Hearing none, is there anybody present wishing to come forward and speak against the petitioner? Is there anyone wishing to speak against the petitioner at this time? Okay, hearing none, commissioners?
So in looking at the departmental reviews, all right, so Public Works asks about anticipated traffic, number of employees, shipping trucks. So do we respond to Public Works and say that it's not going to happen, there aren't employees?
I think that by us, because we questioned him on that, and he said that there's not going to be any employees or anything like that. It's just a small family business.
All right.
And he's already been doing this for,
How
how
many-
long, Cameron, come back up. How long have you been doing the harvesting and the growing and harvesting of?
I haven't actually harvested yet, so I am leading up to my first harvest right now.
Mhm.
So I have plants, but I haven't harvested yet. I started growing those plants between 3 and 4 months ago.
And how many plants are you growing currently?
Currently 124.
And all of those are inside that building, correct?
Yes, correct.
We don't need to follow up with like fire because they don't need to inspect or the floodplain
Chairman
manager.
Commissioners, on that note, department reviews did state for fire department that they will need an inspection on this property. So essentially, it won't affect tonight's decision, but it's just to note for our department that before we're able to approve his business registration, we will need to see a fire inspection completed.
You understand?
I did get a fire inspection. I went and paid it this afternoon, and so I got the certificate this afternoon as well.
Do you have that on you?
I have an email of it.
Can you email it to the department real quick?
Yes.
Cool.
Can you send it to my email?
Yes.
Let me know when you're ready.
Okay, what is it?
Ryan, so RYAN .baca, BACA at valencianm.gov.
All right, so
Thank you. So it'll take just a moment. It's probably a PDF attachment, so it'll take just a minute here. Yep, never mind. Chairman Commissioners, I'm going to send that certificate of inspection on the overhead.
Mhm. Sweetness.
Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, commissioners, anything else? Okay, this is mine, so I'm going to make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion with a second. Any discussion on the motion with the second? Hearing none, call the vote.
Commissioner Moran, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Aguilar, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Freeman, how do you vote?
Yes.
Chairman Sublett, how do you vote?
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Mhm.
Have a good afternoon.
Moving right along to action item 7B, conditional use number 2025-096, District 4, P and Z Commissioner Sublett, Board of County Commissioner Bazell. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
He's awake.
Action item C, which will be conditional use 2025-108, District 4, P and Z Commissioner Sublett, BOCC Commissioner Bazell.
Chairman,
Sorry about-
Commissioners, before you this evening is the request for a conditional use 2025-108, District 4, P and Z Commissioner Sublett, BOCC Bazell. Yvette Trujillo requests a conditional use to operate an online and appointment-based auto dealership. Legal description, subdivision, division of tracks 14A1A and 15A1B, MRGCD map 93, tract A3, also known as 6 Neva Lane, Belen, New Mexico 87002, UPC 1008-031-066-205, followed by 6 zeros, currently zoned neighborhood commercial district C1. And the applicant is here tonight to present for you this evening, and I stand for any questions.
Any questions from the commissioners?
And Chairman, Commissioners, we did receive one letter of opposition for this request.
Is that in the packet?
That's it. Yeah.
Chairman, Commissioners, yes, it is.
Okay. Mr. Hill, please come forward, sign in and state your name for the record. Okay.
Yvette Trujillo.
Chairman, Commissioners, while she is getting signed in, I wanted to also make a note. The treasurer did mention that there were some delinquent and back taxes owed on this property during department reviews. We were able to notify the applicant and she did take care of those. We contacted the treasurer's office this afternoon and they did state that she is current and up to date on her taxes. And she did provide the receipt for the taxes paid. So she is current and up to date on current taxes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I know you read it this time.
Ready?
Yes. thank you.
Okay. The floor
Good
is
evening,
yours.
Commissions. My name is Yvette Trujillo and I'm here to request approval of a conditional use permit for a low volume appointment only automobile sales operation on my C1 zone property. It's very limited, low impact use. There'll be no on-site customers, no walk-in traffic, no retail car lot, no vehicle repairs. All customers meeting and showing will take place off-site at a public location. Yeah, so it's not a traditional car dealership. It's more administrative business. I'm thinking of having maybe just to start, maybe 1 to 3 cars and progress, I'm hoping that, what I'm hoping is that eventually I can actually go to a C2 as things go, because I would be starting this off. So be starting new. So there won't be a lot of noise. There won't be a lot of traffic. Really, it's just to get started, really. So I'm not sure if you guys have any questions. With that, I won't even probably have signs unless required, but I've seen the requirements. I don't think we're allowed to put a sign for conditional use. So that's
Question. So people will not come to this property to look at a vehicle? You will take it somewhere for them to look at it?
yes.
That's weird. Okay.
It's because it's a private residence and it's kind of like in the back, so it's private. It's more private, so yeah.
So how many vehicles do you think you'll have there at a time?
I'm thinking 1 to 3 for this year to get started. Maybe 2.
Can we bring the overhead up, please?
Mr. Baca? Storage of vehicles, what is the maximum that they can store on property? Is it 7?
Chairman, Commissioners, I'm not aware of any particular zoning ordinance that limits the total number of vehicles. I would have to look at that. Typically, we look more at the parcel coverage for totals. And in this case, because it's already zoned for commercial, there's not the same parcel coverage limitations that there would be in a residential area. Are you aware of any? Yeah, as far as for maximums, I'm not aware of any maximum number of vehicles allowed on the property. As long as they're all operable, they are acceptable, I would believe.
Is that your home on the overhead there?
Yes. Well, double wide, yes. Mm-hmm.
And you're at the end of a lane there? Is that what I'm seeing?
Yes.
With the cul-de-sac.
Drives right into the property.
Runs right into the property?
Yes.
There's no
Right.
cul-de-sac?
No, it's not a cul-de-sac.
that-
It just goes
it's-
straight into my property from 314. Yes, you go all the way on Neva and you end up right there.
You see how it's that little dirt road that goes down the sides of the properties, and then it's kind of got like its own built-in cul-de-sac right there where the pointer is? Move the pointer.
That's on her property though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, that brown there, yeah, I see what
Yeah.
you mean.
So according to the diagram, she's wanting to park the cars on the eastern side, I guess by those trees, correct, Yvette?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on your initial application, you're saying that you would only have 1 to 2 cars there. But then in your plan, you're saying that you would have between 2 to 5.
Yeah.
You are hoping to have 2 to 5.
Yeah, I don't know what what the, minimal, because I'm not thinking 5 right away. But, if I did bring in 1, maybe sell it, 2, maybe have 2, bring them in, you know what I mean? I just didn't want no problems. So I think I just
Right.
kind of, yeah.
But again, on your proposal letter, you're saying that you would, that involving the sale of 3 to 5 vehicles per year. So if you brought 3 to 5 vehicles in, then those would be the only vehicles that you could sell.
Okay. I think.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Unless
Yes.
and if you start swapping vehicles out, then now all of a sudden there's the possibility that there's a lot of traffic, there's a lot of heavy traffic. Why are you swapping the vehicles out? Is there maintenance that has to be done? Then all of a sudden it starts arising questions.
Yes.
So when you're saying in your proposal, when you're saying in your asking for it on your packet, you're saying 1 to 2 cars, and then in the proposal, you're saying, well, 3 to 5 cars.
Yes.
So I want to hear from you, what are the numbers going to be?
Okay. The numbers, I would say if they can be anywhere from 1 to 5, but, and the reason why I put that, because I'm thinking, if I have a couple to start with, sell them, if I sell them, I believe I'm going to sell them and then bring some more in. And I just put a number like that just because, to be safe, on the safe side, because I don't know, what the minimum is or what, and I can't do a lot because it's really just me, really.
Well,
operating this.
I would like to see you do a lot. I would like to see you like bring in
Me
1 or
too.
2 cars and then you get
Yeah.
them sold. Somebody calls you and they're like, hey, Yvette, I seen on Facebook or something And you're like, okay, I'll meet you down at a Walmart parking lot, the Walmart. And because you're kind of close there. And so you drive over to Walmart, you're like, this is it. She's a beauty, Yeah. And you sell it and then you bring another car in. So you're abiding by what you're asking, 1 to 2 cars on the property. All of the sales, all of the looky-loos and all that stuff is being done off the property, right?
Yes.
There's no maintenance being done, so apparently you've got somebody that can supply you with cars at a good deal that has enough meat on the bone that you can make a little money.
Yeah,
So if you
that's-
can sell 20 cars in a year, I'm happy for you, do it, but I don't want 20 cars
On the lot.
on your lot.
Yes, and I like that too. I don't
Right.
want a
So-
lot of cars there like
And
that
I don't,
right away.
because if we say, if you ask us, well, I'm gonna have 1 to 2 cars there, and we're like, okay, we can work with that. And then you're like, well, now I'm saying 1 to 5 cars. So then come August, somebody goes out there and it's like, she got 20 cars out here,
Yes,
So then that's not what we're approving.
okay,
So
yes,
you get it?
I do.
And so I don't want you to get in trouble trying to make, a little bit of money. And you're doing everything the right way. So that I have no problem with you making, an income.
Right.
That's great. I think that's wonderful. Hopefully you'll turn into a bigger,
Hope so.
then you're like, okay, I'm gonna go buy the old Brad Francis or something, but
That'd be nice.
it could happen, right? So, but keeping in at
The numbers.
you asked for 1 to 2, and now all of a sudden, even before you got it, the numbers are starting to jump.
Okay, 1 to 2. I think when I was putting it together, and I'm sorry, I may have been, just thinking a little bit, starting to expand my thoughts as I was writing it, thinking that maybe I should go up a little, just because in a year, you could probably sell. I really don't think that, if I say 1 to 2, is that limit, that's just limits it. So I was just saying 5, just to be on the safe side. That's
So what would be the number?
like 5, 3 to 5?
So you would want a conditional use to park vehicles that are for sale, retail sale, right? It's not wholesale, you're retail, it's selling them, right?
Oh, I would sell them. I would get the cars and then I would sell them.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you would buy them wholesale,
And then sell them.
and then you would sell them
Yes.
retail to somebody.
Yes.
And so what would be the maximum amount of vehicles that you think you would like to have on that piece of property?
I would just say up to 5.
So what you're wanting is you're wanting a conditional use with a maximum of 5 vehicles.
Yes. But I'm happy if it's less. You know what I mean?
What do you want?
I said, I'm happy if it's 3 as well. If you guys only allow 3,
What do you
then I'm
want?
happy with that too.
What do you want? It's up to you.
5, up to 5. But I'm not saying I'm going to have all 5 all the time. I'm just saying
Right.
for
No, no, no.
safety.
Yeah, you could
for
say,
guys.
you could say,
Does
I
it-
want 20, but I'm not going to have 20, but I want 20. You can ask
Okay,
for
say
20.
5.
Okay, so maximum 5. That's what you're asking for. Okay, that way it gives us an idea where we can come from.
Okay.
Chairman, Commissioners, because this is a conditional use, you do have the option to impose a maximum number
Right.
as a condition.
That's what I'm
This
looking
request.
for, her
I just
maximum
wanted to
number.
clarify that. Perfect. Thank you, sir.
No
Right.
problem. Thank you, Ryan. Mr. Baca, thank you. Okay, so you're asking for a conditional use with a maximum of 5 vehicles. Those vehicles are there only as a storage area, okay? And any viewing or anything like that will be done off premises. Any work on the vehicles will be done off premises.
Yes.
Other than, because in your packet, you said that you got a little shed or something out there so that you could clean the vehicles, right? I read that somewhere.
More administration. I would use it maybe to use for, like, for my administration or whatever.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, so you're gonna have like a little office space inside your house or something like
Yeah.
that, right?
Yes.
But the only thing that you're gonna be doing to the cars there is just detailing.
By myself, if anything, but I would, yeah, if they're dirty, if they're really bad, Yeah.
No, I don't. That's why I'm asking you.
yes, I would clean them.
That was in your packet, correct?
Mhm.
I think so, yes.
I'll give you time.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Look.
Did I put the cleaning part? I think so. I think I did put the shed there. I did put everything in there.
Mhm.
Zoning, okay. Sorry. I can't find it right now, but I'm pretty sure it's probably in there because I put the whole. plan
Commissioners,
together.
did I read that correctly?
Mhm.
I did read that correctly, right? Okay, so yes, you do have it in there, that the only thing that you're gonna do is possibly
Detail.
do detailing. You're gonna clean it up, like give it a wash or maybe a
Yeah.
wax or clean the windows or something like that. And,
But
okay,
no mechanics or nothing like that.
so my question is what happens if you're storing a vehicle there and it has a flat tire?
If it has a flat tire?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes vehicles, they sit for a little bit and then the tire loses some air.
I'd probably have to get my brother or someone to come fix it, or.
What?
I'd probably have to get someone to come fix it,
What?
to air it up, or,
So there might be some maintenance on the vehicles being done at that property.
if there's a flat tire like that.
That's maintenance. Are you gonna have it towed off the property to get the flat tire fixed?
I probably, if need be, I would, yes,
I'm asking you.
yes. I mean, I would do that. But if there's a flat tire, I would like to have someone come in.
So you need permission to work on the vehicles.
Oh, I need for a flat tire?
That's if you wanna get.
Well, then they would
condition-
have to take, I don't think I would buy something with flat tires. I would probably check their tires.
Well, yeah, but I mean, anybody can have a flat tire. If a tire, I could walk outside and there could be the flat tire on my truck just from, I might have ran something over when I was backing into a parking lot or something.
Yeah.
You never know.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to bring these things to your attention.
Well, with conditional use, I don't know if that's allowable, but with light, like something like that, where you would bring someone in just to fix the flat tire. To fix the flat tire, or, air it up, like someone who does that kind of stuff, like a male or someone like that.
It could be a woman. It could be a female.
It could be a woman, yes.
It could. And what if you drive it down to Walmart parking lot, you're selling it, the potential buyer shows up and they say, hey, I really like this car, turn the lights on. You're like, okay, turn the lights on, turn them off, turn the blinkers on, turn them off, let's step on the brake lights. Uh-oh, brake lights out. Where is that brake light gonna be fixed?
Well, if they like it, they're gonna have to fix it. They're gonna have to fix it.
But if they're buying it, maybe they're like, I want all the lights to work before I buy it.
I will find someone to fix it right there. I'm sure I can, because I've done it before.
You understand my concern?
Yes, I do. You don't want to, maybe you guys don't want a lot of traffic going in and out, maybe?
He's making a point.
The point that I'm making is
Okay.
that you're setting parameters here
Mhm.
that in the beginning, you're like 1 to 2 cars, and now you've said 5 max. And it's like, okay, that's reasonable. But you're saying, I'm not going to work on any of these cars, right? Nobody is going to work on these cars while they're in this area. But I can already tell you that these cars may have to be worked on. So are you willing to take these vehicles out of that area to go change a tire?
To change a tire.
Yeah.
Well,
To change a light bulb. Because you can't, if you're saying no work is going
Yeah,
to do that, you're
yeah.
saying, Valencia County Planning and Zoning Commission, I'm telling you, I promise there will be no work done on this. If you let me do this conditional use, and then if we say yes in good faith, and then you're changing a tire, then it's a light bulb, then it's Oh, well, I'm just gonna put some gas in it because I drove it back and forth. I forgot to go to the gas station. So I'm gonna go get a 5-gallon can or a 3-gallon can and come over here and pour gas in it. And oops, I spilled gas on it, but it's okay. You see where
Yes,
it becomes larger and larger and larger. So that's where I'm saying, is this a good plan?
yes, it is. I think that if, do you think I should have included that, like a flat tire, just like a flat tire or?
I can't
light?
tell you what you.
No, I mean, I would, because those things, yes, when you talk about mechanics and stuff like that, or we're doing mechanic work, I'm thinking, engines. or
Sure.
I'm thinking oil jobs. I'm thinking all these things. That's
Sure.
what I'm thinking, I'm not thinking about just, those little minor things, but if that's to be included, then I'd like to include that.
But
I'd
like you
to-
said, an engine, that's a huge thing, but an oil job, changing the oil, that's easy. Put it up on ramps and you can change the oil, but
Yes.
you're not,
I'm not, yeah. I
you're
see.
saying, I'm not gonna do that stuff over there.
Yeah, I'm not going to do the oil changes,
Right.
but I am going to,
According to you, you're not gonna do anything
no, I'm going to clean the cars.
other than clean.
I'm gonna clean the cars and check, make sure everything's good, especially when I buy
And
them.
if something's not good, the car has to be taken off the property to get made good.
Yeah, and I'm gonna also take, before I even purchase them, I have a mechanic that has down the road and off of Los Lentes that will be going with me. to
But you
purchase the
understand that
vehicle.
something can happen from the point of Los Lentes to your home. I'm not trying to be mean
Right,
here. I'm just trying to bring awareness here.
yes.
Okay, so maybe I'm beating a dead horse.
No,
Okay. Yvette,
that's,
you got anything else? You're gonna have a small little office or office space. You know that the state is gonna require you to have a sign. Where are you gonna put the sign?
okay, I didn't think that the sign, right now in conditional is it
For you to get your license as an auto, you're gonna,
when I
'cause
read?
when they do their inspection, they're gonna inspect for a sign. I have a little knowledge.
In my window, probably on the window, in the window.
A 4-foot by 8-foot sign, that's the smallest.
A question about that sign. So I'm looking at this conditional use, type 2, and it has to meet the standards of a type 1, correct?
So Chairman, Commissioners, what Commissioner Moran is currently looking at is specifically regarding a home occupation conditional use. What we're looking at in this situation, this property is already zoned commercial 1 or C1, excuse me. So this one doesn't quite fit the same requirements of what a rural residential dwelling with a conditional use for home occupation would.
So this page here doesn't mean anything. This page with the permissive use or the conditional use doesn't apply.
No, Chairman, Commissioners, that is specific to home occupations in a rural residential zoning district.
Why do we have this to confuse me, huh?
I'm sorry. No, we included her original. So this all came to light because of her original business registration application. That's just a document that gets included as part of the instructions with all all business registration applications. I see your point. We probably would have been better off removing that because it's not relative to this particular
Correct.
request.
There's a lot of contraindicators here.
Yeah, and a lot of that is part of what we use as a department to kind of get out some information to understand the full scope of what it is these individuals are asking for on their business registrations. There is a little additional information. We've kind of talked about it before. This is another one of the applications we are looking at kind of cleaning up and clarifying things because right now we get a lot of applicants that are confused on the application when they are doing a business registration that has nothing to do with a home occupation. There's a lot of overlap on that specific application request that causes that exact confusion.
Because on the first page, it says business registration, home occupation checklist that she signed off on, which is or is not applicable to this.
So Chairman, Commissioners, we do ask that people fill that out to provide us with some additional information. That kind of gives us a little more information on specifically what they're operating and what their plans are with that business. Depending on the zoning, then we kind of move into other parameters. If this was zoned rural residential, then we'd be looking more specifically at a home occupation as a conditional use. Because it's already zoned C1, it's a unique situation. So they are allowed a dwelling in conjunction with the business activities on the property, which is what we would be looking at in this situation. The dwelling in conjunction with just the business registration.
So the question about, will your business be the primary or most important use on the property? And she said, yes. But yet there's a residence and she lives there full time.
And Chairman, Commissioners, yeah, the zoning is commercial already, so it wouldn't be an issue to have the primary use as commercial. This is why we need all these questions. This is why we request proposal letters and always have follow-up questions on these sort of things. Business registrations we always need to ask additional questions and require additional information to get the full scope of the plan of the proposed project. This is one of those cases where we did have to follow up, ask some additional questions, and that's essentially the full scope of what she's proposing is what has led us to this request here today.
All right. Well, I do find this information helpful if it was applicable to the case. But so if we had a business plan, if we had something like this for home occupation for us to look and compare to the application, and then the same thing for the business to compare to the application, that's helpful. Because they did address signage and she said yes, and then her note is a sign if required. So is the sign required and so large?
Yes. Mhm.
Yeah, Chairman, Commissioners,
That's
it's not
from the
a
state of New Mexico.
exactly, it's not a
Any,
county requirement.
Automobile industry, any auto sales, they have to have minimum 4-foot by 8-foot sign.
Does it have to be placed any particular?
Got to be placed in a noticeable area to the dealership. And that's another thing is that you put in for a dealership license, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So when she put in for the deal, or when she's going to put in for the dealership license, that dealership license would be under state guise for inspection at times, if I'm not mistaken. So the state can go in there and inspect it as well as the county. So it's because
Right.
there's a good profit margin there. And so somebody can start selling cars and the next thing you know, they've got a wholesaler that's getting them some good cars. They're doing some good deals. They've got some, and the next thing you know, they're growing very quickly, and dealerships do that. And you see that in the perfect place would be like in Busky Farms in Peralta. Years ago, those were just little, buildings that were for rent, and they started selling cars there. And the next thing you know, they've got 4 or 5 lots out there and they got a whole dealership, and you're like, man, how did it do it? But they can do it, so, and I just happen to I know that information,
Oh,
so.
cool. That clarifies my questions.
Have you got that big a window?
Excuse me? I'm sorry.
The sign.
Have you got that big a window for your sign?
Well, I do have a window, but that's because I didn't know exactly the dimensions for the state yet, because I was getting through a lot of this stuff first. So.
I'm messing with you. You're fine.
I'm so-
Okay, Yvette, go ahead and have a seat and we'll call you back up in a second.
All right.
Mr. Baca, you said that one person did write in. It was to the negative or the positive?
Negative.
Chairman, Commissioners, it was opposition.
Okay, let me go ahead and call for people that are for it, and then if you could just read that letter out, because I don't think anybody else is going to be.
Yes, sir.
If there's anybody present wishing to come forward and speak in favor of the petitioner, please come forward. Sign in and state your name for the record. If there is anybody present wishing to speak in favor of the petitioner, please step forward now. Hearing none, is there anybody present wishing to speak against the petitioner? One more time, this is your opportunity. If you wish to speak against the petitioner, to do so now. Please come forward, sign in, and state your name for the record. Hearing none, Mr. Baca, would you read that one letter that is in opposition, please?
Yes, sir. So Chairman Commissioners, this is subject opposition to conditional use number 2025-108, Yvette Trujillo. Dear Planning and Zoning Commission, members and staff, I am writing as a resident and immediate neighbor at 4 Neva Lane, Belen, New Mexico 87002 to formally oppose and request denial of conditional use application number 2025-108. The proposal seeks approval to operate an online and appointment-based auto dealership on the adjacent property at 6 Neva Lane. Reasons for opposition and request for denial. As a direct neighbor on the same narrow 20-foot private rural lane, Neva Lane, I believe this use is incompatible with and would adversely affect our rural residential area. Operating a limited 20-foot access road beyond its design capacity for commercial or high-volume traffic in 2026 presents critical safety and legal concerns. Standard residential access roads are typically designed to support a low volume of light vehicles with 20-foot widths often being the absolute minimum for single lot access. Small access road not designed for this use. The property has a limited 20-foot access road that is not built or designed to handle more traffic, turning movements, or increased vehicle volumes, such as customer arrivals, deliveries, towing, or transport trucks. 6 Neva Lane does not currently allow access for their trash service truck or other large delivery trucks to turn around, thus causing them to back down the lane and use the driveway area in front of my house to turn around. If 2 cars are coming and going on the same road, one must pull off to let the other pass. Currently, this is also being done in my driveway. An increased volume of traffic would pose a problem that affects the use of my driveway. This is also a safety hazard to individuals and vehicles on my property. Our mailboxes also sit on the edge of this road, and wide vehicles have damaged the boxes before. Potential secondary impacts on adjacent properties. Even limited operations could lead to overflow parking, incidental activity, exhaust, or dust affecting my home and home value. No conditions can fully eliminate these risks in a residential adjacent setting. I respectfully request that the commission deny this conditional use application. Note on participation due to health reasons. Do you want me to read this part on why she wasn't able to attend today? Due to health reasons, she was unable to attend the public hearing today. I don't want to go into too much detail on that. I'll let her follow up if she'd like. Thank you. Thank you for your careful consideration of neighbors' concerns and for upholding the zoning ordinance's goal of protecting rural Valencia County communities from incompatible development. Sincerely, Neva B. Hanchett, 4 Neva Lane, Belen, New Mexico 87002.
Any other letters?
Chairman Commissioners, no. This is the only opposition or the only letter we received.
Commissioners, discussion?
Well, in the departmental reviews, Lena noted that Neva Lane is not a county maintained road. However, since the access is on Highway 314, she recommends reaching out to NMDOT. So, could consider that a condition.
I'd like to have Ms. Trejo come back up. But in my opinion, with the letter, it also brings up the concerns that you had. The added traffic for mechanics coming on board, or tow trucks and stuff like that. Yeah, so I think we need to take something like that into consideration also.
He's got a point. Although what she spoke about was the vehicles. I don't think they're going to be brought in by a truck. They're going to be driven in, and she's going to drive them to another place to be looked at. So traffic-wise, I don't think we're looking at trucks and that type of thing.
Well, you don't know that because she could be bringing in some trucks.
Or like a pickup truck or something.
Well, yeah, that's true.
So,
Mhm.
and if.
I'm speaking of car haulers.
Right. Or tow trucks.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
But again, if I look at this as a, and I'm pro-business. I'm pro-business, you know?
Mhm.
I
Oh,
love to see people
yeah.
go out there and start a business and, you know,
Yeah.
I do. I
Yeah,
like that. I'm
well,
pro-business.
as we all are. I
You know,
mean,
so, the thing is I don't think that, you know, and if she starts doing good, then it's like, hey, bring this vehicle over here to show me in Los Lunas, or bring it over here. And maybe she has some places that, I just use Walmart as an example because
No.
it's something close by. It's a big parking lot. You can park off in the back area or the front area or whatever. But, you know, I mean, she could go anywhere she pleases, you know, to a church parking lot, whatever. It doesn't matter, you know. But the point is that then if she goes to show the vehicle to one person and they're like, we're gonna think about it, you know, she goes back and then she gets another call and she goes out and then she comes back. And then she goes out and she comes back and she's doing this all weekend long and the neighbors are saying, wait a second. You know, this wasn't supposed to affect us and it is affecting us. So then somebody walks over and says, can you just stop? Can you just let people come over here and look at the cars? Well, that's not what the conditional use covers. So all of a sudden, but it's like, oh, this one time,
Yeah.
you know, it's like a flat tire. Oh, this one time, I'll just call a mechanic out and we'll get something done. Oh, it's just leaking a little bit of oil. Well, I'll just call, you know, and those little things add up. And I know through personal that she is gonna, the state is gonna require her to get a 4 foot by 8 foot sign that is prominently displayed at the dealership. Gonna happen. So you put a sign like that up, you're gonna have people driving in, hey, you sell cars here? I mean, that's what happens. So I think that petitioner did not think this out.
well, I'll play devil's advocate here.
Okay,
Uh, that sign would be placed on her property, correct?
on the property used as a dealership.
As the dealership, which would be her property, which is at the very end. So I don't think anybody's gonna be able to see that sign,
Right,
bottom line. So I don't think it would create that much of a traffic problem there. And then as far as moving cars to and from, she'd be going to a store, you know, taking a car, bringing it back. I don't think moving the vehicles to and from, that's only one vehicle back and forth, that wouldn't be a problem. The problem that I have is, again, she has these cars, all of a sudden, oh, I just noticed a leak on an oil leak. Okay, now I gotta have somebody come check it out. Okay, now I gotta change oil. Now she's got mechanics coming over. Or is she gonna be taking those vehicles and taking them to a mechanic? Again, a tow vehicle, a car hauler. That would raise questions for me.
you bring up a very good point, a very good point, and I don't know if you understand this, but if she's driving the vehicles back and forth, are the vehicles gonna be licensed, registered, insured? She's gonna have to have dealership insurance, because if not, and she goes out on 314 and something happens, if she goes somewhere, gonna have to have a bond, right? So, you know, I think that this is something that we can ask her. And because the one thing that I don't want to do is if we were to grant her this conditional use and then all of a sudden there's an accident and it's like, well, I didn't know that. Well,
Mhm.
I'm not so sure it's really our responsibility to tell her that, but just by seeing the way that the proposed business plan is, it doesn't reflect that secondary thinking has been met.
right?
Does that make sense?
Right, I'm trying to understand how the state fits in. So we're here approving or not a conditional use, but she has to go to the state. Is they're the only ones that oversee dealerships?
Yeah, I
Business
think so.
license?
I believe so. I mean, you can get the dealership in a city, you know, you're gonna get a license, but she's gonna get her permission for her auto
Sales
sales
license
from the state.
from the state. And then they have a whole bunch of regulations
Yeah.
that she would have to meet, which probably would include the insurance. We don't
Yeah,
know
it
about
would,
that, but
it would probably include a bond, it'd probably include insurance, it'd probably include that kind of stuff,
Right.
you know, and they'd probably issue like a certain amount of like dealer plates or something to her so that for test drives and stuff like that. But yeah,
Right.
there's gonna be insurance, there's gonna be that kind of stuff. So, I mean, and we can't make her do
right.
that kind of stuff.
Right.
But you know, a conditional use is a conditional use. And,
Right.
you know, that's one of the things that I don't want to just be giving conditional uses to everybody that comes in with a halfway decent idea.
Mhm.
You know, has it been thought out? And that's where my conundrum is right now. I'm sorry. A second. We'll get you up here. We're just discussing it. So that's where I'm discussing this. So, you know. Again, I'm pro-business, and I like to see new businesses come into the county because that's more revenue, and that's more tax revenue, that's more everything. I mean, you know, that's where a community grows off of. That's what we thrive off of, this business, especially small business, little family businesses. They're great, you know?
Yep.
So, but being put in a position like we are, we've got to make those hard decisions at times. Is there anything else? Do we bring her back now? You said you wanted to bring her back,
Yeah.
right? Yvette, could you come back up? Thank you, hon. You want to have,
You heard what we as the commission have been discussing.
Yes.
A lot of questions have arisen. I think one of the most important ones will be the vehicles that you bring on your property. Will they be licensed? Will they be registered?
Yes, there, before I drive them out and show and everything, they're going to be, I will have a dealer's, I'll have everything set up, the bonds, everything,
Okay,
you know.
and they will have temporary plates?
Yes, yes, because I won't go into the business without taking care of all that stuff. Without making sure everything's, you know, that we have insurances and bonds and what have you, what's needed.
Any mechanical work being done that will be needed to be done will be off-site
Yes.
again, correct?
Offsite. Like I said, because there's a mechanic, friend of mine, and family members too, that a couple of mechanics. So they would probably go over there first, if anything, and they would go with me to inspect the vehicles. So I'm not going to buy something that's, you know, if there is little things like that, I would love the board to approve conditional use to do very minor things like lights and cleaning it up the vehicles, but mostly that, you know. Sorry, I didn't put that in there. Another thing that I wanted to say, or do you have any more questions? I'm sorry.
Just one last one. These vehicles, when you buy them, how are they going to be transported to your property?
Me,
You will drive these vehicles to your property.
yes.
you already have in your packet that that you're going to be doing, like detailing on the vehicle. So that's not something that we have to put in. If you wanted to put something further into it, I would say don't do that. Don't ask us for that right now because you really need to think it out. Okay. So, and you know, you come before us and you said that you would make sure that the bond is done, the licensing is done, not the licensing, but the insurance.
Yes,
Because as a dealership, you're gonna have dealer license plates that you don't have to go and get it registered in your name or nothing like that. You buy it, you have the new title or, the receipt of purchase, which usually is a title, they sign off on it or they stamp it and they say, okay, here, you just bought your car, take it. And then you get your dealer because it's sold to the dealership or whatever. And then you put your plate on it and you drive it in because it's insured, you've got your own insurance, okay? So, that's a very vague way of saying it, but so I put trust in you that that's what you gotta do. And if you didn't know prior to now, at least you know that there's a lot of things that you gotta look into.
Yeah, I did. And I also, I had to take a whole mandatory class. They do dealers now have to take a whole class,
Right.
So I've done that. And I've done a lot of a lot of preliminary stuff.
Mm.
My neighbor, I didn't know that was her, but nobody lives there. It's vacant and it's been vacant for
Well,
about,
I don't even know.
okay. Okay.
She had.
I was just like,
Right, she has, because it's her property, she has bearing in the case and she wanted to do that,
Okay.
and so she did.
responding. Okay.
So commissioners,
One more clarification. I'm getting back to Public Works. Naval Lane is not a county maintained road. However, since the access is on Highway 314, I recommend reaching out to DOT. So the access to Naval Lane is off 314?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
yeah, could you, Mr. Baca, you put the overhead and just scan out a little bit? I'll try to explain where this is. So if you pull the map down, that is, okay, so that's the old Elks Lodge up there, and then past that is Ned's, correct?
Yes. Right. Yeah, Nancy's
Yeah,
next
so
to it.
that's the old, and that's Ned's. Yeah. So 314, now if you zoom back in. So you see where 314 is right there, Commissioner Moran?
Oh, okay.
And so then it's a long dirt road
Okay,
next to a vacant lot.
right.
And so it's like 3 lots down to the east.
We going right to.
And the
end.
first lot off of 314, that's on Sneva. The first lot is also a dealership. The same road. On 314.
Yeah, I see a bunch of cars there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just gonna be so tempting for people to run down that road and look at your cars and it's just like, wow.
And this is, I was unaware that front lot was a dealership.
Right.
Okay,
You've
with
got
that
one.
being said, again, you've got people coming to that dealership. She has her sign. And they're gonna be like, oh, there's another dealership.
I don't know if you're gonna see it.
Yeah, mine's won't
Yeah,
be split shown through 314. It'll be all the way at the end. I don't know how they would see it.
Well, that's gonna be, okay. The reason I say that is because you want to sell cars. You're gonna want to sell cars. You're gonna have to put a big sign up there and you're gonna want to sell cars. And just tell me.
I eventually, as things get better and stuff, would like to go to the C2. That's what I had put on there too, I think.
Would we, in the motion, if we were to make a motion, if a motion was made to approve this, would that motion have to have all of the like?
We can
she
set
said-
conditions.
Huh?
We can set conditions.
Right, but I understand that, but setting a whole bunch of conditions, like, because we've covered a lot of stuff. here. But I'm not saying you know, do you try to approve it with 10 to 15 different conditions? Or do you, but if we deny it, then she can't come back for 6 months, right?
Chairman Commissioners, give me one moment to verify that one.
In the meantime, how- what conditions would you think more than beyond 2 or 3?
The amount of vehicles, because that. was
Right,
gonna be-
right, that's fine.
Now wanting to do light maintenance, because she's saying, you know, like changing a tire or,
Okay,
so light maintenance would be another one. What did I say the first one was? The amount of vehicles?
Amount of vehicles.
Amount of vehicles at, no traffic, all sales would be, because no traffic, she's.
right, she's already said that, right,
But,
that's
but
in her
there would be
proposal.
traffic because if she's going back and forth, that's.
Yeah, she is,
And
but
then number 3 would be, or number 4 would be all sales would be done off of the property.
Right.
But if she's got a little office there, then the sales are gonna be done there at the
oh,
office.
she's doing the paperwork there. I don't, yeah.
But that's the sale, right?
No, I wouldn't consider that being a sale.
Yeah,
No.
That would be, again, like somebody, how do I want to put it? Having a salon and like at Walmart and then coming home and doing the paperwork and
right.
all their billing there.
Right.
So I wouldn't consider it a sale, a sales office. They're just doing paperwork.
Is any restrictions for?
That's pretty
Like you,
Surprises.
for instance, a sign company has is selling signs at a complete different building. They have an office at home. They come home and they do their paperwork at home. They do all their inputting of their sales that they've done that prior day. Would you consider that selling of signs?
What you're missing there
Yeah.
is-
it a C1 property? Do they have conditional use to run a business out of their house? You know, I mean, you know, that's. running a
Yeah,
business.
it could,
Shut that sign company down.
Well, I could.
No, what's missing there on a car sale, I believe, is there's multiple forms
Yeah.
that the buyer has to sign to, for liability reasons and registration and for that car to be sold to that person. So that person goes and test drives that vehicle over in some dirt lot somewhere or whatever, and then says, yeah, I want to buy it. At that point in time, that person's going to take that car back to this property and go in that office and do the paperwork there. They're not going to do the paperwork on the hood of the car out in a dirt lot.
We just bought 2 cars last year. We just bought
Yeah.
2 cars. And the amount of paperwork on, you know, and they
Yeah.
say, okay, you put your money down on the car. And they're like, okay, we're gonna send you to so-and-so. He's our sales associate. And you go in there and they're doing all this stuff. And I mean, they've got the big printers and you gotta, okay, sign
They're
here,
a-
sign here, sign here, sign here.
They're
If
a
you do that,
timeframe
you know,
of-
and that's paying for the car out, you know, they still.
Ms. Trujillo,
Zone change, they can't come back.
Yes, sir.
are you gonna have anybody on your property when you sell these cars?
No.
Whether to do paperwork or whatever?
No, I would do the administration part and fill the paperwork, fill all the paperwork. I also do other type of business, notarizing, and I do mortgage note. I know what it's like to go out there and do it, and I could meet them I could meet them somewhere. I could meet them at a Starbucks, I can meet them.
So you're not gonna do any financing, right?
I'm not doing
You're
any
selling a
financing.
car, like if you say, hey, the car is being sold for $10,000, I want $10,000 upfront, and I'm gonna sign over the title to you.
No, I'm not doing the financing. No.
Yeah, so you're gonna want 100%
Cash up front.
cash up front, payment up front, a cash check, credit card. Do you have the ability to accept credit cards?
I can and I do, yeah. I mean, I have a bank account and everything. I can figure that out, you know? I also would, as far as that's concerned, I think, I know I can do that and meet them out there with all the paperwork filled out, you know, because I've done a lot of stuff for car companies. Notarizing.
Hmm.
And mortgages.
I have a silly question.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Mhm.
when you take your car to Berlin and you sell it, and you have another car and you take it over to Bosque Farms and you sell it, who gets gross receipts? Bosque Farms where you're selling it, and Berlin where you're selling it, or the county?
Valencia County.
Okay. I don't know that,
She's got the business registered in the county,
yeah,
but.
that, you know, we had some gravel.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Because
'Cause we
if the
had-
sale is being finalized in a municipality, then
Right.
that's where it's being finalized, but her office is at.
Right,
In Berlin.
blah,
well,
blah, blah,
I
you
can
know.
only say we had some gravel projects in Sierra Grande.
Right.
And it was Mountain States contractors out of Albuquerque.
Mhm.
And because it was in the unincorporated area, they had to pay the unincorporated area taxes. That's where the activity took place.
Right.
But even though they had an office in Albuquerque, but I'm just, think you should check that out.
Baca, did you get that answer from me?
Yes.
So Chairman Commissioners, based on what we're reviewing, there is no limitation on the time frame for application of a type B procedure application, which this would be. So anything that comes just in front of P and Z, a type C application, like a zone change or something that does also go in front of the Board of County Commissioners, that has a 1-year time frame, but before they can reapply. There's nothing explicitly stated in a type B procedure like this request is, stating that there is a time frame that has to be waited for before she can reapply.
So there is no time frame.
I am not finding anything at this time. I'll consult with legal, just double check on that, but based on the type B procedures ordinance, there's nothing listed under reapplication.
Any other issues? Okay. That, I'm pro-business, I'm very pro-business, and I'm very, responsive to people who come forth, and it seems like you're a very intelligent young lady, but I think that the way the packet was drawn up and what you're doing on this part right here, I think you need to do a little bit more, look into it a little bit more, okay? Because I don't want to set you up to fail. The way it's set up this way, you would fail, okay? And so, am I doing this right? I can do that, right?
Chairman Commissioners, if you don't feel the applicant has provided you with enough information to make a valid decision today, you can request this application to be tabled, of course.
What?
To be tabled, if you feel what's presented is acceptable for
Table
review.
this. She can't come back and she can't make all the changes into the application.
We can, it would be introduced as an amended packet for the next meeting. We would include today's minutes and everything, and we would also state that as amended, the applicant has included X and Y, Z additional information on today's
Okay.
packet.
Then looking at it that way, okay, that, because you're in my district, so I'm trying to help you out. So-
Okay.
And we all,
Thank
you
you.
can see that. Okay. So I'm gonna ask you I'm gonna give you the opportunity to table what this is. And basically what you're saying is you're asking, hey, I've got to do some more investigation and come back with the thing. So if you table it, then it's not gonna cost you any more. Okay, you don't have to repay the application fees or nothing like that. But I'm gonna ask you to table it, okay? If you don't want to table it, then it's gonna go to a motion, okay? But if you do table it and you're asking me, well, what information do I need? I can't talk to you after the meeting, but you can talk to them, Mr. Baca and Melissa and Jerry. But they're gonna tell you that probably what we are gonna be looking for would be stuff from the state. I want to see your packet for your state licensing. Does that make sense? Because then that way you have your packet for your state licensing, then you have that understanding of what is required of you. And I don't think that you have that understanding at this moment.
Mr. Chair, I'm sorry. I thought we were tabling it because we didn't have enough information of the candidate. Is that, am I right?
Chairman Commissioners, yeah, because you are kind of specifically, you're stating some additional information that you feel you would like to see to be able to make a valid decision in this case. I'll leave it at your discretion, but it does sound like this is more of the board's decision because they want more information to table this. This is the
Okay.
board's decision to table, not so much the applicants today.
Okay, so are we good on me tabling this? I guess I can't ask for a vote, but that's, my thing is I want to table this. I would like to table the, my motion is to table this until we get the board, until, Yvette.
Trujillo, yeah.
Yvette Trujillo brings us more information pertaining to the proper, use of a dealership license in the area that she's going for. So that's my motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion on the motion is second? Hearing none, call the vote.
Commissioner Moran, how do you vote?
Yes to table.
Commissioner Aguilar, how do you vote?
Yes, to table.
Commissioner Freeman, how do you vote?
Yes.
Chairman Sublet, how do you vote?
Yes. So they'll get with you and they'll tell you what we're requiring.
Okay,
Thank
okay.
you.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And she wouldn't be charged because we're tabling it. She wouldn't be charged the mailing. Okay, let's make sure.
And this is a good time just to bring, just for future situations like this, if the applicant does request to table it, at that point, we can, as a condition, set on the implication that they are going to pay the fees for mailouts. Since this was done as the commission, as a tabling, she would not be held responsible for this.
Thank
It
you.
would not be a condition of approval.
I think it's fair. I just,
I agree.
why? Here's my paper. Action item 8 is, the next meeting will be on Tuesday, February 24th, 2026 at 3 p.m.
Yep.
And we don't need to vote on all this.
Motion.
Action item 9 is adjournment. Am I right? Because I don't have my thing.
I'm sorry, yes. Number 9.
Sounds good. I will second.
That's why you're the chair.
Yes.
Okay, so there's a motion with a second. Any discussion on the motion is second? Hearing none, just call the vote.
Commissioner Moran, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Aguilar, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Freeman, how do you vote? Chairman Sublet, how do you vote?
Yes. We did.